discontent, heavy opposition to government's plan to mine bauxite in the Atewa forest as 10 NGOs jointly launched fresh campaign to demand that government changes its mind. The coalition, it says, has more than 15 million supporters worldwide and is led by Atewa, Ghana. It says in a statement that bauxite mining will forever destroy the Atewa forest, leaving extinct species and dried up water sources in its wake. Let's have a conversation on this. Daryl Bosu is Deputy National Director of Atewa, Ghana, and joins us here in the studio. We're going to talk about how the campaign started some time back, but how government has defended its decision and continues to defend its decision even as it started clearing up the forest. You're welcome, sir, and thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
So this campaign has been going on for some time now. You must be fatigued.
Not at all.
Not at all.
Not
Great.
at all.
That's what advocacy is all about. Let's get into the details of this matter. We hear from last week that there are already plans, to begin mining bauxite in Atewa, despite all the efforts that you put in. What do you know of what's gone into the decision to actually go ahead, despite all the opposition?
Yeah. So I think, like you said, government has actually indicated that they are doing validation. And when you ask, why will you do validation in an area you don't intend to mine? So I think for us, it's just government playing around the issue, not really coming out to say this is definitely the case. And what we always been saying is that any way they see it, it's going to be the worst decision they could have ever taken. Particularly because this is an attempt to mine a forest reserve which has very significant other services. Ecosystem services like water provisioning, which is very crucial for us. If you look at how water is becoming crucial as a country in many respects, you want to see a country that will put all its resources, its arsenal to secure all watersheds. But this action is actually contradictory to whatever water management strategies we have put up, whatever sustainable development goals we are really saying we are committed to and all of that. So we think that government is just playing around the issue and not really saying. But we know that whatever way, anyhow it goes, if they are really going to mine, all Ghanaians should be worried and we should all be prepared for the consequences. So
we should be prepared for the consequences, but you're not giving up yet from the way you've said it. Have you had any engagement with government or its representatives about this matter?
Yes, I think we seem to be the organization that is always trying to reach out to government. Government doesn't ever want to engage with that. I will say that on all the occasions that government has responded to any of the issues we put out there, it's always been through another medium, another program they're organizing, and then the officer will speak to the issue. We've never said that. There was only one occasion, that was in 2018, and it was with the Minister of Environment, Professor Frimpong Boateng. That was just one occasion. Every other occasion we have actually requested has not been possible. And now we have GIADEC who have come in, stepping into the issue because they now have the mandate as a state agency with responsibility to manage the bauxite development agenda. So we've had quite some engagement, but it's not been to the way we want it to be.
What do they, when you meet them and you provide your information based on the research you have done, your arguments, and you say, if you do this, this and this are the consequences, what sort of response do they give you that gives you the assurance or otherwise that this will go any far?
Yes, you see, all along we've been asking for due diligence and also engagement with stakeholders. But what we are seeing is that the government, and from the posturing they're giving us, is that we will have our say, they will have their way, which is very unfortunate. And I think that we all need to be concerned about it because the president was talking about following international best practices and all of that.
You don't trust that they are?
We don't trust that.
Why not?
And even the very fund that is supporting this particular process, the Sino-Hydro agreement. Sino-Hydro subscribe to very strong environmental policies. They do not, they have a policy where they don't go into protected areas like Atewa and mine there. So I don't understand how come our government is flouting our own rights so that they can satisfy the interests of a company that even has much higher standards when it comes to environmental issues.
But wouldn't you blame the company as well? If you realize this, have you also had any engagements with this company to say, look, you have these values, and these values are being watered, are being rubbished by this contract that you're in? Have you done that kind of engagement?
It will be amazing. You'll be amazed by what we have done. I mean, we've written to Chinese Development Bank. All of these people are in the loop. They know what is happening. And I will say that we are not resting. I mean, we have already, Sino-Hydro, if you recall, not too long ago, we even sent an open letter to the Chinese embassy.
Okay.
And because they also refused to respond to our letters, asking them to open up the discussion. Let's see some transparency. Let's make sure that the right thing is done, in particular with regards to this mining deal. And all of that, they try to shy away and not speak to us. So we sent them an open letter. And I think that during that, we actually drew their attention to actually rein in Sino-Hydro if their action is actually going to eventually affect us this way. So I think we are still open to discussion, and we are always exploring other ways to do that. But I think right now we are looking at our legal options as well, how best we can actually take government, because these things are also enshrined in law, and a lot of the things they are doing, most of them go against what is in law in terms of our forest management regime.
So I take it that this is your next line of action to take on, to try the legal approach.
The legal is one of them, as we also look at several other civil actions available to us.
Now that they've already started plans, I mean, we've heard about the reports that government has started, clearing the place. So have you, does that give you, sort of push you to speed up your final option, which is the legal way?
Yeah, when government starts doing something, until the courts stop them, there's nothing you can do about it. And you know how our court system also really takes time. So, and we are taking it as the pace will allow. But like I said, we are using several other means to really get to the various entities behind this mining deal. So whilst we're exploring the legal option, we also engage in other state agencies, other opportunities to make sure that this thing can be done. So we are actually not rushed at all. And then the thing is that I think all Ghanaians should actually be following this development and make sure that we get the best deal out of this. The fact that we need to mine bauxite doesn't mean we need to go digging it everywhere. Some of these places provide very important services, without which we're also going to suffer and also look for some more money to actually provide these services. So I don't see why you want to trade off this in exchange for something that is beneath.
Do you get that sense that this has to do more with a perception or a behavioral trend? Because a lot of people have said, look, we don't have money. We need money to take care of our people. We need money to put up infrastructure to take care of our people. And you're talking about species. I mean, people don't really appreciate it appears people don't really appreciate some of this, and I don't know if that's a sense you get in your engagement or when you try to get people on board.
Well, that's
this campaign.
So when people say we don't have money, I think that is just a very convenient excuse they give. If you look at Ghana as a country, this is not the first time we're going to do mining. We have been mining bauxite in Awaso for like 78 years. Where is the money? There are several things we do as a country to bring in money. Where is the money? Are you telling me that all of a sudden mining a watershed which provides money for water for 5 million people is going to be providing the resources? Or if we don't do it, are we going to die as a country? Most of these people, what they need, we need to rather focus on investment that will bring some well-being and prosperity to the masses. Not focusing on infrastructure. This infrastructure we're talking about, in 10 years, they will depreciate. And then in 10 years, we'll still have need for water. So what are we talking about? I mean, talking about we don't have money is just a convenient excuse. And that's what I always say to that. I think there are much more deeper things. We need to consider the trade-off analysis. And I have to say there's some political tone to it. I mean, some people know that this thing, we don't need to do it for, excuse of their political allegiances and all of that. They can't really speak truth to power. And that's what is unfortunate. And I think that all of us eventually will lose for that.
All of us eventually will lose. You are doing your best so that we don't lose, which is what you believe. you're looking at exploring the legal option as well. How soon is this going to happen?
Well, I think it has already started. We are already digging some information, which lawyers always need to do prior to actually filing cases and all of that. So I think we've already started some actions, and if it comes out, you pick it up even before most people do. So,
we heard you. Yes. We heard you. And did you organize a signature campaign?
Yes, we have a signature running with over 20,000 signatures now. Okay. And I think it's still open out there. It's on change.org, Save Atewa, and we invite everybody to sign on.
Okay, yeah. So you go on change.org.
Oh, yes.
Change.org, and you get to join in that campaign, that petition. They're hoping to stop government from exploring bauxite in the Atewa forest. Darryl Bosu there. He's with Arocha Ghana. They have been on this campaign. Darryl, thank you for coming.
Thank you
and we wish you all the best.
Yes.